Woo! Alright man, what's up and what is Gucci? YouTube, the World Wide Web. As you guys can see in live HD, it's your host with the most, Paul Cantu, and today I have a little artistic tutorial for all of you guys right now. So basically man, in the last year of thrifting, I've came across a ton of beat up kids Jordans. For any sneakerhead man, finding Jordans in the thrift is definitely really dope. However, a lot of the shoes are just beat to shit and have absolutely no life left in them whatsoever. A few times I came across pairs such as this one that just don't even have a mate, so it's just like a left shoe. So what the hell are you gonna do with a left shoe or a shoe that is this beat up where the suede is just absolutely gone? Now you guys could try and restore them. However, I don't have a child or children. Some of these shoes are too big for my plushes, but all of them have that iconic silhouette that is present in a classic Jordan such as the Jordan 1. So basically what I'm gonna do today is repurpose and reuse some really beat up children's Jordans and make them into something that's really cool, has a little bit of that home decor allure and all of that jazz. So without further ado man, I'm finna turn all these shoes into planters. That's right, I'm gonna put plants in them. Let's hop, skip, and jump into it right now, and I'll show you guys the entire process. It's a dope idea, and I felt like sharing, so let's get it. Alright class, so first and foremost, getting into this tutorial, I just want to show you guys a visual representation of all the beat up, bedraggled shoes that we have to breathe new life into. So there they are, it's a lot of them. So the first step I did was actually remove all of the laces from the shoes. I just felt like I didn't need the laces and they'd be hard to paint on, so that's why I took them all out of the kicks. Now the next thing I did was grab the kick and actually evaluate it, and so I realized that each shoe has this leather clear, a protective coat of paint all up on it, so I needed some acetone to actually remove that clear coat, so when I laid down primer in the primary color, the nice little terracotta on the shoe, it would adhere to the leather surface of the kicks. So right now I just have an acetone infused cotton swab that I'm rubbing all the way across the surface of this nice little up tempo. So the next thing I did was get some soap and water, and I actually just scrubbed down the entire surface of the shoe lightly just to make sure that all the acetone was removed and the primer would stick all up on the surface. So I just went ham, cleaned the shoe all throughout, made sure it had a nice work surface to go ahead and paint on, dried it off, and then we were ready to actually start priming the shoe for the painting process. So what I did was I used this like Krylon paint slash primer. You guys can use basically anything if you do feel like doing this. And then I just started spraying all the kicks, man. So yeah, I sprayed suede, I sprayed leather, and all types of mixed media and material that these shoes were constructed of. So it did take about 2 coats of primer on each shoe. I did do this outdoors, that way I wouldn't get paint poisoned and die. Shout out this text message that's coming in. I don't know why my phone's not on vibrate, but hey, it be like that sometimes. So yeah, man, I just laid down a thick coat on one side, and then I flipped the shoes and laid down a nice thick coat on the other, and that's pretty much all I had to do with the primer. And you guys can tell I'm wearing some nice little protective mask just to make sure that I do not die of this damn white snowflake poisoning that is located in this Krylon primer. So once the shoes were done being primed, this is what they looked like. So nice little clean work surface. And the reason I primed them is just so this nice Valspar Signature bars coat of paint would be vibrant on the kick. So as you guys can tell, it does look like a clay pot. It is terracotta in color, and that is exactly what I was going for, to create a nice authentic pot looking shoe.
Smoke weed every day.
So I just started laying down coats of the paint, and honestly didn't matter like really how cleanly I laid down the paint. I just wanted a nice even coat, and so I just started going ham and try to get in all the cracks and crevasses of the up tempo just to make sure that it did give the illusion of being a nice clay pot, when in reality it's an old beat up shoe. Of course it did take some time to do this, it did take some wrist work, but overall man, you guys don't need that many skills to paint a shoe an entire color. So if you guys wanted to try this yourself, it's not all that difficult in actuality. Now I laid down the coat on the outside, and then I also laid down a coat on the inside of the shoe as well, just making sure the entire surface was draped up and dripped out in that nice terracotta colorway.
I need to put my phone on silent, bruh. And then, as you guys can tell, when the first coat was finished being laid down, it did have some flaws. It was a little bit uneven, and that's why you just add more coats of paint to create a nice even finish. So all the amounts of paint that I added were basically 2 coats in total. And as y'all can see, man, the work surface was uneven, and that's why I had to go in there and lay down that second coat of paint all up across this shoe. So again, same shit, different day. I just started laying down the coat of paint. There's really not too much to talk about in this aspect. It really is just covering an entire surface with a nice clay texture and color. Ya dig? Alright, so once the second coat was done being applied, there were still some tiny cracks and crevices that the paint did not seep into, and so I had to actually get out a small brush to handle that, and the bottoms of the shoe still were not addressed. So that basically is what we're going to tackle right here, right now. So detail brush, boom. As quick and simple as 1, 2, and 3. A couple brush strokes do a lot in terms of actually filling in all the cracks and crevasses with the paint. So once I was done applying the paint in the little divots, it was time to hit the bottom of the shoe, which was really simple, man. I just whipped out the giant brush and started going ham. Now I did apply about 2 coats of paint to the bottom of the kick, just in case like the plant got blown over or someone was really looking at it. I wanted to make sure the whole surface of the shoe was covered, including the bottoms. Oh yeah, and as a side note, just in case you guys forgot what the business was, we were going ham and had an assembly line of these terracotta planter Jordans going, so yeah. Now the last step in terms of the prep was to get this styrofoam and to spray it inside the shoe. Now this shit is like dangerous evidently, so I was all gloved up and masked up, and I sprayed about 1/3 of the styrofoam in the shoe's interior. Now I could have put actual dirt, I just did not want the shoe to rot, and this styrofoam in a can does expand, so basically I added about 1/3 of it, and then it ballooned up to fill the entire ankle area of the shoe. As you guys can tell, man, we have an assembly line of the styrofoam, and it ballooned all up and was ready to be painted green. So that's the step we're on right now. I got out these Walmart little apple in a barrel paints, and I just started painting the styrofoam in its entirety green. That way when I added the plants, the nice little succubuses, it would look like a natural green surface to mimic nature. So yeah, I added about 2 coats of the paint, and I was a little bit sloppy with the painting of the inside, so I did spill some green on the inside of the terracotta. So the final thing I did before adding the plants was I just cleaned up the edges with the terracotta once again, just to make the shoe look as clean and crispy as humanly possible, because I'm a low-key, high-key perfectionist. And then bada bing, bada boom, all I did was I got this plant and I stabbed it into the styrofoam, and that was one up tempo done. And then I got a larger plant that looked a little bit cooler in my opinion, and I shoved it in the other up tempo. Now this one I wanted in my personal collection, so I did decide to hold on to it and put it on a shelf in my home. Now all the other plants I had on display at my recent pop-up shop, a lot of people actually purchased them, and I did have to get rid of my up tempo and found a new home and a happy place to call its own. Oh man.
Alright guys, so in conclusion, man, I just want to tell y'all thank you guys so much for watching. This process did take a while, I'm not even gonna lie, but I was like mass producing the hell out of these shoes. Once again, here is what the final product looks like. The Jordan 4 is probably one of my favorite shoes that I actually customized, as is the Jordan 1. I just figured it's a great way, again, to reuse and recycle old beat up shoes that didn't really have any life left in them. But yeah, man, if you guys would like to purchase any of the shoes, we have a wide array that are still available. They're gonna be linked down in the video description to my vintage website, which is thriftheavenvintage.com. A lot of the planners are going to be for sale. Again, man, this did take a lot of time and effort to do, but hopefully if you guys feel inclined to make one, or if you guys would rather just cop one and save yourself the time, the trouble, and the effort, then they are available. But thank you guys again for watching. Live a dream, eat that ice cream. I'm locked and loaded, and until next time, baby, I'm gone. Peace.
Yes. Wanna be with you night and day. I wanna fuck you, girl, yeah. Whoa. Let me make love to you all night long, daddy. You know that's what you came here for. Come on. Let me hear you say, yeah.
Shut the fuck up, bitch!